All right, let's move to this next story. Some of y'all gonna hate me, but it's okay. I understand. It's okay. Y'all could hate me. Y'all could hate me. Y'all could hate me. LeBron James rages at Stephen A. Smith as Bronny's NBA performance is questioned. This is Shakur's take, the portion where I give my opinion. And those a part of the LeBron cult may not like my opinion. But the younger James, that's Bronny, ain't ready. Stop forcing it. You can read my full thoughts or my full column or whatever you want to call it, opinion piece at jayshakur.substack.com. Subscribe if you haven't to my Substack. Please do that. LeBron James' insistence that his son enter the NBA, all right, simply to make history could destroy the younger James. Bronny could destroy him. It's an exercise in pride, not the historic legacy LeBron has so forcefully pushed on the NBA. If you're not familiar with what has happened, I want to catch you all up to speed. Stephen A. Smith has made several comments about multiple times, has critiqued multiple times Bronny's performance as it concerns him playing in the NBA. I want to play that for you now.
Now let's go to Philadelphia, where Bronny James last night played his most minutes by far in an NBA game last night as the Lakers lost to the 76ers 118-104. Bronny was held scoreless in 15 minutes and struggled guarding Sixers star Tyrese Maxey. Before I get to my thoughts, please take a listen to Coach J.J. Redick and what he had to say about Bronny's performance last night. Take a listen.
I maybe put him in a tough spot, flying up yesterday and, nationally televised game and Philly, all that stuff. It's, he didn't play well, but he's been playing great, in the Stay Ready games, and he's been playing great in the G.
I was on First Take, my day job on ESPN earlier this morning, and I spoke about this, and I felt the need to elaborate even further because
the coach right there said he played better in the G League. That's where he should be.
A couple of people text me and pissed me off, and they know who they are. People close to LeBron James talking to me about questioning him as a father. Come on, y'all. I mean, it's gotten to a point where this LeBron sensitivity is just beyond the pale. You call him the second best player in the history of the game, you're insulting him because you said he's not the GOAT. You're saying that.
And in this video, he goes on and he essentially says, he pleads, and this is not the first time on his podcast that he did it before, as he mentioned on his day job at First Take for ESPN. And he's essentially saying, hey, bruh, he's not ready. And I'm gonna go back and play that. But he's essentially saying, bruh, he's not ready to play in the NBA. He should be in the G League until he is at least ready. And I'm gonna give y'all some history about LeBron and Bronny and let you all critique it and what y'all think. But it's no way, in my view, Bronny should be in the NBA. It's no way. It's no way. And if he had any other name other than the last name of James, he would not be in the NBA. Period. End of story. Let's listen to some more of the comments that presumably triggered Mr. LeBron James. Listen to this. Let's listen to this.
LeBron has forgotten more basketball than most people would know. So no matter what we think about Bronny, he knows more. But you see what you see. Bronny James has played in 13 NBA games. Ladies and gentlemen, he's averaging 0.3 points, 0.3 assists, and 0.4 rebounds. He shot 1 for 16 from the field in his NBA career and 0 for 7 from three-point range. And he's playing in the first quarter of an NBA game?
Because his dad is LeBron James.
Really? And everybody wants to look at it and LeBron has nothing to do with that. He didn't tell J.J. Redick to put him in the game. I get all that. But come on.
He told the
I'm
Lakers
not being
to put
cruel to Bronny.
he told the Lakers to put his son on the team. He may not told him to put him in that particular game, but he told him to put him on the team. Like, bruh.
Do you want it this way, LeBron? Do you want it this way, Rich Paul?
He's talking directly to LeBron, not Bronny. He's talking directly to LeBron, who put Bronny in this situation.
LeBron's son, you know how they're going to judge him. And before anybody wants to jump on me, remember, I never saw Bronny James play until he showed up in the NBA and the G League. I refused to watch him because if I watched him, I would have to talk about him. And I didn't want to talk about LeBron James' son because I thought it was so unfair to the kid. He's such a wonderful kid. Wonderful family. I don't want to hear me talking about questioning LeBron James' fatherhood. How many times do I have to rave about LeBron James?
He says he's not questioning his fatherhood. Cool, that's nice, that's cute. But let's look at a brief history of the not-so-star player, Bronny James. Bronny averaged around 14 points per game at the high school level. For comparison, his father, LeBron James, who forced him in the league, by the way, in my humble opinion, averaged 31.6 points in his senior year of high school. Perhaps that's why LeBron was drafted right away into the NBA, because he got 31.6 points. Anyway, Kobe Bryant, for comparison, averaged 30.8 points in high school. Kyrie Irving, 26.5 points per game. And Michael Jordan, 25 points per game. Beyond high school, Bronny played just one season at the University of Southern California, USC, where he had a cardiac incident. While there, he averaged less than 5 points per game in his lone season at USC. At the collegiate level, he averaged less than 5 points per game. Now, I'm not some basketball savant. You know, my hand-eye coordination is not there. I barely drive. But averaging 5 points per game was apparently all the NBA needed to see to draft him. In 2024, Bronny signed a 4-year, $7.9 million contract with the Los Angeles Lakers. He was the 55th pick of the NBA draft that year. On January 28th, 2025, of which that clip I showed you of Stephen A. talking was him reacting to that game and others, because it ain't just one game. Bronny played alongside his father against the Philadelphia 76ers. He played for 15 minutes straight. 15 minutes straight, Bronny played. Did not score a single point. Not 1 point. His continued performances like this is what led to Smith's commentary. My question is this. LeBron James is approaching Stephen A. Smith courtside, saying essentially, keep my son out of this stuff. A cuss word is there. Blah, blah, blah. It's heated, blah, blah. Video goes viral. My question to Mr. LeBron James, who put his son in this position, is, while it is admirable to protect and defend your son. That's what good fathers do. That's what they do. If you do not protect your son in the way that a father should, something's wrong. In fact, protection is a chief responsibility, a core duty of any true father, of any true dad. But when does this so-called protection become toxic? It is you, LeBron. I'm going to find the exact quote. It is you, LeBron, who said, and I want to quote you because I don't want to become, out of order here. Let me find this quote. He said, telling the franchise before the draft, when Bronny came in as the 55th pick, he told the franchise, "You want to keep me." This is exact quote. "You want me," meaning you want to keep me. "You want me, draft Bronny." The arrogance. That's crazy work, as the young people, as we say now. The arrogance. The arrogance to say, "You want to keep me, draft Bronny." And the same day his contract was renewed with the Lakers was the same day that they announced Bronny being drafted. You know, this is what I call the veneer of protection, and it's toxic. You wanted your son to play with the big boys, although he's nothing too hot. He's not a star player. He belongs in the G League. You wanted your son to play with the big boys. And remove the sports from it, not earning a single point in 15 minutes of a game. Ignore that. Let's just ignore that, right? Playing the first quarter, although you average 5 points. Let's ignore all that. Let's look at this from an ethical standpoint, from a fatherhood standpoint. My question is, was this LeBron James's dream, or was it Bronny James's dream? And at the end of the day, you wanted your son to play with the big boys. That's what you wanted. So he should be able to handle some big boy criticism, especially when he plays 15 minutes straight and doesn't score a single point. He should be able to handle some big boy criticism. It's a toxic paternalism that could potentially end up destroying Bronny. Imagine the pressure, the anxiety. Your father being, in my opinion, one of the greats. He's not the great, but he's one of the greats. Imagine the pressure of having to live up to that standard, and then your father telling the league, telling the franchise, "If you do not draft my son, you don't get me," in essence. And then they do it. The purest definition of nepotism, right? That's a prime example there. And then he does not live up to that standard. Fathers don't act like that. Fathers do not put unrealistic expectations on their children, nor do they put their children in situations where they are vulnerable to this extent. Meaning, if your son ain't ready for the NBA, the G League will be just fine. But all because of some prideful pursuit to be able to say that I was the first basketball player to play with my son in the NBA, you wanted to go this course. And people ask me why I don't like LeBron. This is one of the real reasons why I don't care for him as a player. You can only imagine the anxiety, the angst, the fear that Bronny is experiencing because of his father. I think it's quite sad. And then to react that way to a sports commentator giving his commentary, that's Stephen A's job to give his commentary. Do I agree with everything Stephen A say? No. But that's his job. That ain't my job. I'm not a sports commentator. The only reason I'm talking about this is because of the fatherhood aspect of this story. And I think it's newsworthy. But I'm not a sports commentator. I can't give you play-by-play. I can't do that. But that's Stephen A's job. And all Stephen A said was, why did you push him into the NBA when he's not ready for the NBA? Like, why? 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 It's quite, the ordeal is quite sad. My hope, Not for LeBron James, because he's full of himself. My hope for Bronny James is that he gets the courage to do what he wants to do, how he wants to do it, independent of his father. And if that's staying in the NBA and not playing for the Lakers, then so be it. Or if that's leaving the NBA, going back to the G League at some point, working on your skills, working on your craft, and then coming back and showing people why you deserve to be there. Whatever it is, I hope and pray he gets the courage to do what's right beyond the prideful, selfish pursuits of his father, who I don't doubt loves him. And one of the things I do like about LeBron James is his, how do I say this? His ability and his dedication to, I should say, his family. So I'm not questioning that. I'm saying this was a horrible, horrible decision. And 2 more points. Where are the leaders in the NBA that have the courage to say, LeBron James, you're a great player, one of the greats. Your son, he ain't there yet. Where are they? No one has the courage. No one has the guts to do it. People should be asking why that is. Number 2, or my final point here, what about the hundreds of young boys that have the dreams of being where Bronny is and actually play better than Bronny that have gotten overlooked because the millionaire, billionaire son needed a spot? What about them? What about them? What about them? You see the impact that selfishness and pride has, not only on your immediate family, but others. What about them? Because that 55th pick in the draft that was Bronny James that year could have been some boy from the west side of Chicago. Thank y'all for listening to All Things Jay Shakur, be it Jay Shakur Uncensored, my long-form talk, interview podcast, or the weekly brief where I bring you the news, not just the stories you know, but the stories you need to know. Thank y'all for listening. Thank y'all for tuning in. Please like, subscribe, and share to this YouTube channel if you're watching on YouTube, or if you're watching or listening on Spotify or anywhere you get your podcasts, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. Please subscribe, share this with others. Thank y'all for watching.